Hello there, it's good to have you here. I'm the Last Mixter and welcome back to the channel where today we'll be going over the top 5 upcoming Dinosaur games. This video is going to be something slightly different and a little bit more challenging for me to do, as I'm going to be giving this commentary style video a good old high school graduate try. So if this video floats your boat and you want to see more like it, please do let me know down in the comments below. I wanted to include a couple honorable mentions here at the beginning with Second Extinction and Prehistoric Kingdom. Now, both of these games are of course already out, with Prehistoric Kingdom coming along nicely in early access, and Second Extinction set for its full launch out of early access on October 20th. Now, as of editing this video, the developers of Second Extinction have made a post on their website stating that the game will be delayed until November, and haven't given a specific date as of yet, although I suspect that it will be around mid-November. They basically say that there are some final things to be done in order for the game to be fully ready, and with the small team they have, October is just too soon. Kudos to Systemic Reaction, as they seem to be avoiding employee burnout by not rushing to get the game out, so I hope with an extra month most of the glitches and bugs can be snuffed out, and the game will be super polished upon full release. Both of these games have a lot of potential, and it'll be really interesting to see how they develop. Now, all of these titles that I'm going to be talking about in this video will be available on Steam, just to, kind of make it a little easier for you folks at home to wishlist them and keep an eye on them, as I think Steam is probably, the most popular digital site for, buying and playing games. RIP Google Stadia.
Nobody cares.
All of these games have trailers as well, which I'll be showcasing parts of in this video, but if you want to see the full videos, then I'll leave them in the description below. So, with all that mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's jump straight into the list, where at number 5 we have Instinction. This game's release date is still to be announced, and has probably the most generic description on Steam. Prehistoric action-adventure game with combat and exploration. Excluding the prehistoric tag, that describes pretty much every game ever made. Including the prehistoric tag, that still describes most prehistoric themed games ever made still, so that definitely worries me a little bit. However, descriptions aren't everything, and I gotta say the visuals look pretty neat. We seem to have some aquatic sections of the game, the gameplay itself seems decent, it has co-op, and it actually has a single player story. Ain't that just dandy? The protagonist of said story is described as a formidable adventurer deeply affected by personal demons and fears, which sounds pretty sick. Overall, I would say I'm the least excited about this one. I just hope it's not another, generic action-adventure game, but I think the potential for a Indiana Jones style, adventure with ancient temples and artifacts, that sort of thing, is really cool, and in that regard, it's a very promising prospect. At number 4, we have EXO Primal. Now, this one is honestly a bit of an odd one out, because the whole concept is kind of whack, but that's why I've included it. It seems like it's going to be a team-based online co-op shooter where dinosaurs have invaded the world through a vortex-type thingy. I mean, what else would you do on a Wednesday? And you get these futuristic exosuits to deal with them. It definitely looks super fast-paced and seems to draw some inspiration, at least visually, from games like Apex Legends and Overwatch, maybe even a little Titanfall 2 in there. The visuals look pretty solid from what I can tell. I'm not sure if there's going to be a single-player campaign. At this point in time, it seems like no, there won't be, as the game's Steam profile shows only PvP and co-op, but I guess we'll see. The game is being developed and published by Capcom, which is definitely the most well-known company on this list, as most of the others are indie devs, and the game is set for release sometime in 2023. No specifics as of yet. Come on, Capcom. Deliver for us. At number 3, we have probably the biggest one on this list for a lot of people, Ark 2. Just by reading the description for it, I can already tell it's gonna be freaking weird, as you got Vin Diesel and this girl. She played Moana. Now, she is a very talented person, despite the fact that I can't pronounce her name right, no question, and I can already tell Ark 2 is going to be about family.
I got family.
Hello there. And as far as an overall story, there is certainly potential here. Moana was an excellent film after all, in my opinion, and I mean, it's Vin Diesel, man. It will launch into early access because of course it will, and it's going to have a third-person only viewpoint. Okay, certainly a departure from the first Ark with its first-person and third-person split. It will have cross-platform modding, pretty sweet, and Souls-like combat, apparently. I kind of find it funny that so many games want to copy Dark Souls.
You have something I want.
But you know what? I guess we'll see what Ark 2 can bring to the table in terms of combat. With all of this, it definitely seems like the game is going to be going in a bit of a different direction, which might anger some and delight others. I guess only time will tell. As someone who has only played a few hours of the first arc, and on console no less, my opinion on it is pretty much a moot point really, but I think a lot of you will be looking forward to this one more than any other on the list, so I really hope it doesn't disappoint. At number 2, we have a more horror-themed experience with The Lost Wild. This one was fairly recently announced and is set for a 2024 release window. It's single-player only, and I think the lack of co-op might be disappointing to some people, but I honestly think that single-player dino games need a little bit of love. Right off the bat, it looks absolutely beautiful with some damn impressive visuals. It looks to be a survival horror experience set on an island, because where else would dinosaurs be? There's an emphasis on stealth and non-lethal weaponry. Aww. But hey, at least you get fire. So I guess maybe non-lethal isn't the best term here if you do get fire. I imagine it'll have a more focused story like Instinction, and it will also have a female protagonist, which is pretty cool. One nice little detail that's mentioned in the description on Steam is that the dinosaurs will behave more like actual animals and not monsters, which I think will be a really nice change of pace and should have the dinosaurs expressing different behaviors like curiosity and fear as opposed to exclusively violence go brrr. Now I put this one at second place on the list because I just think it looks really awesome, and maybe even looks better than the top spot on this list. If done right, it could really stand out in the dinosaur gaming scene. Speaking of our number 1, the time is nigh, and my expectations are high with Deathground. This is my most hyped game on this list for one main reason: co-op. You will be able to have a team of up to 3 players, and the goal is to retrieve high-value loot. Simple enough, but of course you have dinosaurs to contend with. It seems like it will play more like The Lost Wild in the sense that you have to use equipment and stealth to your advantage, as opposed to gunning everything down. They mentioned that weapons and crafting are going to be in the game, and they have also touched on some interesting things, like dynamic dinosaur behavior that changes as they try to hunt you down, unique character classes, and a focus on atmosphere, with a BAFTA-nominated composer coming in to work on a haunting soundtrack. Even though it doesn't have a release date yet, I think all of this sounds pretty awesome. The graphics look pretty solid, and I think a survival horror game of methodically moving around a facility full of dinosaurs and working with your team and trying to survive could be one hell of an experience. I'm not sure how you would deal with bigger threats like a T-Rex in terms of stealth. But I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. I don't know, man, just the idea of finding items around while you try to sneak past dinosaurs, finding equipment, crafting stuff, and, having unique character classes, like maybe one person can, like, hack into a camera feed and, be able to, know and tell everyone else where the dinosaurs are. That shit just sounds really cool, man. If the dinos will be as dynamic as they say they will be, and if the game will be able to nail a tense atmosphere and dangerous environment, then I think this could easily become one of the best dinosaur-themed co-op games out there. And that is something that gets me very, very hyped. So my friends, that will do it for this video. I hope this list gave you a pretty good idea of what is on the horizon for dinosaur games. Some pretty cool stuff here, I think. And as always, let me know down in the comments what your favorite game is or which game you're most excited for. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then consider giving it a like and subscribing. If you are subscribed, then hit that bell so you don't miss any new videos. I always appreciate the support. You guys know the program. Much love, take care, and until next time.